Alright squad, y'all know what time it is. Time for your boy to go ahead and make these picks for this upcoming weekend in the NFL playoffs. I'm kind of feeling myself. Based on how last wildcard weekend's games went, I was 5-1. Would have been perfect across the board if it wasn't for the Los Angeles Chokers. The Chargers. But enough flexing on y'all. I put out some polls on the channel to see who you guys were favoring in each game, so I'll break down it all in a second. First, let me make myself clear. All teams are capable of winning their games this weekend, even the underdogs per se, because at this point in the season, we're down to the top 8 teams who are competing for a chance to be in the Super Bowl. I'll go in chronological order of the start times, and with that being said, here we go. On Saturday at 4:30 Eastern, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars on the road to play against the top dogs in the AFC, Kansas City Chiefs. Now, many fans have chosen the Chiefs to win overwhelmingly online. Even you guys aren't falling for the Jaguars' momentum heading into this game. What Jacksonville did last week, though, was unbelievable. No one's seen that coming. Trevor Lawrence has definitely proven himself to critics, so it would be hard to dismiss them outright. I just can't do that. Having already completed multiple comebacks this season, the Jaguars are a team that does not give up. But then again, look at who their opponent is. The Chiefs are a team who can play from behind too. The light-skinned assassin in Pat Mahomes has been sensational this year, throwing for over 5,000 yards again. Will most definitely win his second MVP. Remember, at the beginning of the season, many people said that the Chiefs won't make it this far due to having the hardest schedule and losing their star players on offense. As a result, they end up proving all of us wrong and going 14-3. Wow, making other teams look foolish. Andy Reid is just that good of a playmaker. Travis Kelce hasn't slowed down a bit, catching a career high in receptions. I just don't see a realistic way that the Jaguars can beat them unless if it is done in a shootout, because you ain't holding the Chiefs to under 30 points. That's just not happening. This playoff season, the Chiefs are at home throughout. With that sellout crowd, which is among the loudest, I'm tempted to have this being a blowout, but for now, I'll settle with a score of 35-24. Later that night, squad, we have the biggest game of the weekend, facts. That being my New York Giants at Philadelphia Eagles. Man, I'm super pumped for this. After the Giants went on the road and took down one of the top teams in the NFC. Anything is possible for us. Yes, us, you heard me, I'm part owner, bitch. Now, realistically speaking, of all the divisional round games, the Giants have the biggest shot pulling off an upset. You guys even agree with me. As of right now, the votes are almost split. A lot of us online, including me, owe Daniel Jones an apology. He's been criticized for his play for too long, and he's been putting a lot of that stuff to bed. In his first playoff game, Jones was the only quarterback ever, I'm talking about in history, to throw for both 300 plus yards and run 70 yards on the ground in his first playoff game. He finally took control of the game and wasn't second guessing himself. Saquon didn't have the biggest game, but was effective in both running and in the receiving department. But he needs to show up big for this. Jalen Hurts is returning, and that Eagles team is no joke. Very balanced offensively. They can make plays running the ball with Miles Sanders and throwing it to their receivers like AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. These two are just bound to make big catches eventually. The key here is to pressure Hurts as much as possible. We need to make his life a living nightmare. Hope he shows up to the game rusty as hell, as he's dealing with a shoulder injury right now, and make plays ourselves. I'm perfectly fine with the Giants trying to keep the score as low as possible, eat up the clock, and see if you can get it going running the ball to take away time from the Eagles, thus forcing them to play quicker in shorter possessions. Yes, I know they've beaten us twice this year. Like I said, all that stuff is in the past now. It is anyone's game, so I'm rolling with my Giants to pull out the win, 24-20. You heard me. Ooh, sweet, sweet, sweet revenge. There ain't nothing like it. Next day, Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern, we have the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to the frozen tundra known as Buffalo to face the Bills. This can low-key be another upset too, as both teams struggled last week against their opponents. The Bills escaped with a win against the Dolphins by only 3 points, while the Bengals beat the Ravens by 1 score. And what is most glaring is that they squeaked out wins against teams that didn't have their star quarterbacks. The Bills are favored to win from what I've seen, but it's very tricky. It's too close to call. We are talking about the reigning AFC champions, Indy Bengals, who are very capable of going into Buffalo and winning. And at the end of the day, they didn't call this man Joe Shiesty for no reason. It's going to be close. I'm going to have to choose a winner, aren't I? I'll say this. If the Bills can win a championship, I believe this is their best year to do it. So I'll go ahead and pick them to win this in a close one, 30-24. And finally, we have the last scheduled game on this crazy divisional weekend of football. The Dallas Cowboys going to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. The Cowboys have had an impressive win last week against the Bucs. They have been on a great run for now, but who knows if they can keep this consistent play up. And I know very well what they are capable of doing. History has shown us that this team can either show up and play or just get smacked right out the gate. So who knows which one is going to show up on Sunday. The 49ers ain't no joke, man. You don't go on this type of winning streak without having a stacked roster. The team is balanced on both ends of the field. Brock Purdy does not look like a rookie at all out there on the field. The Cowboys will need to conjure up the best scheme possible to get him off his game. And of course, I'm talking about that defense. That combined with their offense making clutch plays on third down to their receivers. Until they show me otherwise, I'm safely rolling with the 49ers to win and advance to the NFC Championship game. Alright, so there you go, squad. Those are all my picks for this weekend's playoff games. I think I did a solid job in analyzing each of these teams' chances on winning. What do you think though? Make sure to tell me your thoughts down in the comment section below. Enjoy the games this weekend, and I'll see you next time.